Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And breaking right now here at 11, we're learning Northwestern High School teen Cartier Woods has died. Woods went into cardiac arrest during a basketball game last Tuesday, and ever since, he's been on life support.
Tonight, the district says his aunt made the decision to remove him from life support after vital signs continued to be absent. Very sad update on a story we've been following now for quite a few days. More breaking news coming in tonight from Detroit's West Side, where a plumber is electrocuted after being trapped in a flooded basement. Glad you're with us here for Local 4 News at 11. I'm Devin Skillion.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Police say the plumber was working on a drain at an apartment complex in the area of LaSalle and Webb. Tim Pamplin is on the scene with a night cam. Tim.
Firefighters and medics just now able to remove the victim's body from the basement of this apartment complex, LaSalle and Webb, near Central High School. The call came out earlier this evening.
It's reported as a male possibly electrocuted in the basement in water.
The 62-year-old plumber was in the basement snaking a drain when water started pouring in. That's when he came in contact with the electrical supply. He was electrocuted, and there was nothing the fire department could do.
Engine 39, be advised, there's 34 feet of water in the basement at the location, engine 39.
Firefighters had to wait, couldn't go into a flooded, fully charged basement. And then about 40 minutes later, a DTE crew arrived on the scene, cut the power, but it was too late. The 62-year-old man was transported down to the hospital, but has since been pronounced dead. Now, a large contingent of DTE crews are arriving on the scene, try to figure out exactly how this happened. Detroit firefighters no doubt feeling a little despondent this evening. Couldn't get in there to save this man's life with the basement charged and flooded. That is the scene on the west side with a night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Okay, Tim. Our other top story, a 96-year-old Bloomfield Township man is fighting to regain the home he says he was tricked into giving away. In a new lawsuit, he says the person who swindled him is an employee at a local senior center.
Tonight, criminal charges have been issued against that employee, and a civil lawsuit has been filed to try to get his home back. Mara McDonald live in Bloomfield Township tonight. I think a lot of people would just ask, how in the world does this happen, Mara?
You know, Devin, it is so egregious, according to his attorney, that when he first started looking at this case, he couldn't believe it was real, except it is. And I want to make something clear for everybody at home. Yes, felony charges have been issued in this case against a woman who used to work here at the Bloomfield Township Senior Center. That said, it is this station's policy to not name or show a picture of someone until they have actually been arraigned in court. So since that hasn't happened yet, we're just going to merely refer to her as an employee. Now, let me take you through the whole story.
I thought we were friends.
And that is really at the heart of how 96-year-old Peter had his house swindled out from underneath him.
Yeah, there's no question that this was a grooming relationship. You know, you see this with pedophiles.
That started at the Bloomfield Township Senior Center. An employee there took an interest in Peter, discovered he had no children and lived alone. That employee and her husband took Peter out for dinner, would stop by with soup and salads, helped with errands, and after a while, asked Peter if he had an estate plan or will, and then took him to her attorney's office.
There was a lady who kept walking out of the room and coming back with papers, just a lot of papers, and I felt secure enough. I really did at that point, and I just kept signing. I know it's ridiculous, and I can hardly believe that I'm saying this to you, but I kept signing my name.
Those papers? A quitclaim deed. She got Peter's Bloomfield Township home for
$1. And Peter hasn't even gotten the $1.
You heard that right, $1. Only discovered when a family friend was over and saw the paperwork.
In the beginning, Peter had no idea kind of how deep this really ran, and he trusted this person.
He was flabbergasted to find out she had his home and his power of attorney.
This isn't just a small amount or a car I can override. I'm talking about something which is my biggest, other than my health, my biggest asset.
Back here live and talking to Jonathan Marco, you know, he's in the midst of trying to untangle this whole mess, and he can't believe that Peter is the only one. His concern is that there are other elderly people who have been targeted here. The former employee here at the Bloomfield Township Senior Center is a 71-year-old woman. who has now been charged with felony embezzlement of over $100,000. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
It's a stunner, Mara. Have we heard anything out of the senior center?
So I called them earlier this afternoon because I wanted to double check when she was let go. My call has not been returned, and I asked Peter, I said, do you blame the senior center for what happened to you? And he says no. He blames this woman and her husband for taking advantage of him. He doesn't blame the senior center. Back to you.
Yeah. All right, Mara.
All right, several schools in the Lansing area will be closed tomorrow after so-called swatting calls. There were at least 9 calls made to high schools from Benton Harbor to Saginaw to Renaissance High School right here in Detroit. Take a look at the heavy police presence that rushed to Okemos High School in Meridian Township. The calls were made to police departments during school hours, claiming there was an active shooter. The goal of so-called swatting is to send police or a SWAT team to a certain location. Investigations are underway to find the people who are responsible. Michigan's Attorney General Dana Nessel warns swatting calls can send you to jail for 93 days for a misdemeanor. And if things get dangerous, you could get up to 15 years for a false report that ends in death.
As you saw here on Local 4 tonight, President Biden laying out his vision for the future during his State of the Union address. It was his first primetime speech hosted by the new Republican House Speaker and comes at a time of deep partisan divides. Alice Barr with the latest tonight from Capitol Hill.
The President of the United States.
President Biden tonight stepping into a Republican-controlled House chamber.
Speaker, I don't want to ruin your reputation, but I look forward to working with you.
For a State of the Union address aimed at bridging partisan divides.
There's no reason we can't work together and find consensus on important things in this Congress as well.
The president seeking to persuade inflation-weary Americans the economy is strong.
With the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs, more jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years.
His pitch directly to the public comes as recent polls show most voters think the country is headed in the wrong direction. The president trying to convince them otherwise, touting his legislative accomplishments from pandemic recovery to infrastructure.
We've been sent here to finish the job, in my view.
While he acknowledged it will take time for Americans to feel the effects. President Biden vowing to stand up to China, with controversy over that spy balloon elevating a tense and complex relationship.
If China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
And as Russia's war on Ukraine approaches the one-year mark, the president pledging continued support.
As long as it takes.
The Ukrainian ambassador to the U.S., an honored guest of the First Lady, sitting alongside the parents of Tyree Nichols, advocating for police reform after their son's brutal beating.
When police officers or police departments violate the public trust, they must be held accountable.
It's one of many domestic priorities for President Biden. Republicans hammering the president over crime, border crossings, and the economy. President Biden maintaining optimism.
Because the people of this nation are strong. The State of the Union is strong.
As he eyes a 2024 re-election bid. Alice Barr, Local 4.
Of course, just moments ago, perhaps you saw Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders delivering the Republican response.
And while you reap the consequences of their failures, the Biden administration seems more interested in woke fantasies than the hard reality Americans face every day. Most Americans simply want to live their lives in freedom and peace.
If you missed any of the president's address or the Republican response, you can find a recap on clickondetroit.com.
Creating a field that everyone can play on. That's the mission of the Special Olympics, which provides year-round sports training and competition for children and adults with disabilities. That work is made possible, of course, by volunteers, which, as it turns out, are in short supply. Pamela Osborne joins us live tonight from Canton with more on this story. Pamela?
Kimberly, just last week there was a huge competition happening up in Traverse City, and many of the athletes here from Wayne County did not have the opportunity to go and participate because there just simply aren't enough volunteers. Now they're hoping that they can get more volunteers to keep the athletes participating in these sports so that they don't have to keep sitting out. Tracy Jenkins has been competing for most of her life.
I've done it since I was 8, and I'm 43 now.
Over the decades, she's had the opportunity to train, practice, and play all kinds of sports through the Special Olympics.
Poly hockey, basketball, bowling, track and field.
You can see on her face how much joy this brings her.
I'm missing one. Hold on, softball.
She'll also tell you how upsetting it is to know that there simply aren't enough volunteers for everyone who wants to participate.
I just want my friends to be able to do the sport they love.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking.
Sue Campbell oversees most of the Wayne County chapter of the Special Olympics. She says many of the volunteers they had didn't return after the pandemic.
Everything is volunteers. And if you don't have that, we don't have games. We don't have athletes like Tracy being able to play, and we need help.
They're looking for volunteers to help with everything from bowling to swimming. There are some requirements. Volunteers have to be 18, and there is a bit of training involved, but really, to help out, all you need is passion and patience. Athletes like Tracy and Sue's daughter Emily will do the rest.
And even if they don't know the sport, you know, one day with our athletes, we'll want you to come back, guaranteed.
So there is no magic number here. They're really just looking for all the help that they can get, as many people as possible. They're looking for coaches as well. We posted all of this information over on our website, clickondetroit.com, if you're interested. And another way to get involved, you know, these athletes don't pay a single cent to participate in these activities, not for the equipment or for the travel or anything. So if you'd like to help fundraise with them, you can join them for their polar plunge that's going to be taking place next Saturday at the Belleville Yacht Club. We also have that information on our website. Reporting live in Canton, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
I know people will step up and volunteer. Pamela, we appreciate your story tonight.